People used to think I was mad. Some still do. The problem with renewable energy is that if we can't store it, on the days when the sun doesn't shine and the wind doesn't blow, we won't be able to use it. I'm just a quiet man in the background coming up with ideas. I don't have any qualifications or anything. I've actually never passed an exam. So I'm completely self-taught and yeah. I really started looking at things in the 1960s, when probably I was about 12 years old. I looked at the world and I realised it wasn't sustainable. We're using fossil fuels. I did look at lots of alternatives, but I'd always had the idea of using liquid air as energy. It's an energy carrier really, it's not an energy source. It's like batteries store energy. You can store it in various other means. And I chose liquid nitrogen because not many people were working on that. The liquid nitrogen engine works on the same principle as a steam engine. You boil the liquid nitrogen, same as you boil water into steam. That creates a pressure which acts on the piston or the turbine, and that creates your mechanical energy. The problem with liquid air has always been that it creates a very high pressure, and when you expand it from the high pressure, that creates cooling. That makes the gas shrink, and that makes it very inefficient. My invention overcomes that. This is a representation of the Dearman engine. You can see we've got the heat exchange fluid on top of the piston. As the piston approaches the top, it goes over the top and then draws some fluid in, and then we add in the liquid nitrogen. I'm just using air here just to show how it works. By adding a heat exchange fluid on top of the piston and the gas and liquid nitrogen injected into the fluid, and it maintains the temperature as it's expanded. It is a very simple solution and it does seem obvious once you've seen it, but it's like most inventions, it's having that sort of light bulb moment. The lawnmower engine was okay, but I needed something a bit more impressive to publicise that liquid nitrogen could power a car. So I modified a car engine and ran it up and down the street. It was 50 years in the making to actually finally get behind the wheel of a car powered by liquid nitrogen. You know it's going to work, but you need to actually do it to prove it. I have had it doing over 30 miles an hour. We're not all driving around in liquid nitrogen cars at the moment because liquid nitrogen is a low energy density fuel, so it will never perform like a petrol car. Well, obviously my neighbours have seen me riding up and down in this car. Most of them are just very interested. Some probably thought I was a madman, but now you having an invention, that's only a small part of it. You need to then bring it to the wider world, show them that it works, and then find practical use for it. So we're using liquid nitrogen to store energy. On the days when we have surplus energy, we use that to compress the air and liquefy it. And then when we need the energy, we expand the liquefied air to drive a turbine and produce power. The advantages over using batteries are that it doesn't use any scarce materials and it doesn't wear out. Batteries may only last 10 to 20 years. This system will keep going for at least 50 years. Batteries are about 90% efficient. Liquid air can actually approach that if you use waste heat and waste cold from other industrial processes. Well, particularly with global warming, as temperatures rise, there's a much bigger need for refrigeration. More and more food will be wasted unless we can find a clean and efficient way of preserving it. We're using the Dearman engine on a truck refrigeration system. The engine itself powers the control systems, and the evaporation of the liquid nitrogen, which produces the cold, is used to refrigerate the truck. The Dearman engine replaces the diesel engine, which are very polluting at the moment. This has the potential to help reduce pollution in a really sustainable way. It is a big deal, yeah. Yeah, I had to put that into words, so yeah. With global warming, if you can power a car with liquid nitrogen, you can use the cold to create air conditioning and the power to drive the car. And that's what I'm working on at the moment. It might not work, so I don't want to say too much about it. I know it will, but... Tried lots of inventions, but they usually fail because until you look into it, you don't know, do you, what the future holds. People used to think I was mad, and it's very difficult to get people to take notice of somebody who's working on their own in their shed. You know, you're a lone inventor, you haven't got the resources that big institutions have got with thousands of people working on things. Well, most people think, well, if it was any good, the idea, it would already have been done. That's quite common. There's so many problems in the world. The more minds that we can put to it, more people that can work on them, even if it's only on their own in their shed, you can make a difference.